biker ripped the waitress's shirt. What he saw froze the whole bar. The rain came down in sheets that night, turning the parking lot of the Rusty Fork Diner into a mirror of flickering neon. The old bell over the door jingled as a man in a leather jacket stepped inside, tall, broad, with a beard that had seen too many winters and a look that made people move out of his way. He was the kind of biker folks whispered about, trouble, they'd say. His name was Jack Bear Malone, leader of a small motorcycle club called Iron Faith. The bar went quiet when he walked in. He didn't seem to notice and just took off his gloves, tossed them on the counter, and grunted for a coffee. Behind the counter, Emily, the waitress, smiled nervously. She was in her mid-20s, small, quiet, the kind of girl who looked like she carried the world on her shoulders and still managed to be kind to everyone. "Rough night?" she asked, pouring his coffee. "Always is," Jack muttered, taking a sip. "But this one's colder than most." A quiet observation. Over the next hour, Jack noticed things. Emily's hands shook a little every time she poured a drink. She kept rubbing her arm through her sleeve, like she was in pain. And whenever a customer got too loud, she flinched, just slightly, but enough for him to see. Something wasn't right. When the crowd thinned out, a man in a trucker hat came in, red-faced, mean-looking. He didn't even sit down before shouting, "Emily, you forgot my money again." Her face went pale. "I told you I'll have it Friday, Tom." He slammed his fist on the counter. "You said that last week." Jack stood up slowly. "Hey, you got a problem, talk outside." Tom sneered. "Stay out of this, old man." That was the wrong thing to say. Jack took one step forward. Not fast, not loud, just enough to make everyone in the bar freeze. His voice dropped low. "Apologize now." Tom muttered something and backed out, cursing under his breath. Emily exhaled, trembling. "You shouldn't have done that. He'll just come back madder." Jack shrugged. "Then he'll find me waiting." The moment that stopped everything. A few minutes later, Emily went to grab plates from a high shelf. Her sleeve snagged on a hook and ripped. Jack saw the tear before anyone else did. But what he saw underneath made his blood run cold. Bruises. Faded ones, fresh ones. All up her arm and shoulder. The whole bar fell silent. Even the jukebox seemed to stop. Emily froze, realizing the sleeve had torn. She tried to pull it down, eyes wide with embarrassment. But Jack gently reached out, not roughly, just enough to see the truth. "Who did this to you?" he said quietly. Tears welled in her eyes. "Please, just let it go." But Jack didn't let it go. He stood, walked outside into the rain, and moments later the sound of a motorcycle roared, then faded down the road. A biker's kind of justice. He came back 20 minutes later, soaked to the bone. He didn't say a word, just hung his leather jacket on the back of his chair. Emily looked terrified. "What did you do?" Jack took a deep breath. "Told Tom that if he ever laid a hand on you again, he'd answer to me and about 20 others like me." Her lip trembled. "He won't stop. He never does." Jack leaned forward, his voice calm, steady. "Then you don't go back there. I've got friends. A women's shelter across town. You'll have a place, a ride, and a phone number to call if you ever need help again." For the first time, Emily smiled. Small, shaky, but real. "Why are you doing this?" Jack looked down at his hands. "Because once someone did the same for my sister. I didn't get there in time for her, but maybe I can get there in time for someone else." No one spoke for a long moment. The rain outside softened, and the old neon light above the window hummed quietly. Emily wiped her eyes with the corner of her apron. "I don't know what to say." Jack gave a half smile. "Don't say anything. Just promise me one thing, that you'll walk away while you still can." The cook, an older man named Ray, stepped out from the kitchen. He'd seen everything. "Emily, honey, I got a sister at that same shelter. They're good people. You go with him." Emily hesitated, looking around at the regulars. The men who drank coffee at midnight, the couple in the corner booth, the kid sweeping the floor. For once, every single one of them was watching her not like a waitress, but like a person who mattered. She nodded slowly. "Okay." An unexpected family. Jack finished his coffee and dropped a few bills on the counter. Way more than enough. He stood up, zipped his jacket, and looked at Emily. "Grab your coat." She blinked. "Now?" He nodded. "Now you start over tonight." Ray tossed Emily an umbrella. "Don't come back till you're safe, you hear?" The biker held the door open for her. The rain had turned into a drizzle and thunder rolled far in the distance. Outside, his motorcycle gleamed under the streetlight, a black Harley with the words Iron Faith painted in faded silver. Emily hesitated before getting on. "I've never been on one of these before." Jack chuckled softly. "Then tonight's full of firsts." The ride to freedom. As the engine roared to life, she clung to the back of his jacket. The cold air hit her face, but it felt different, not cruel this time. They sped through the quiet streets, past closed shops and sleeping houses until they reached a small white building with a single porch light. The sign read, "Haven Home, Shelter for Women." Jack parked the bike and turned to her. "They'll take care of you here. No one will touch you again." She looked at him, eyes wet. "You don't even know me." Jack met her gaze. "You don't have to know someone to do the right thing." A woman from the shelter opened the door, greeted Emily with a blanket and a smile. Before stepping inside, Emily turned back. "Jack." "Yeah?" "Thank you for seeing me." He nodded. "Take care, Emily." She disappeared inside. The bar's new legend. 2 weeks later, the Rusty Fork Diner buzzed with quiet gossip. People said the biker who'd scared everyone that night never came back. But one morning, Ray found something taped to the diner door, a small envelope with Emily's handwriting.